Hi everyone, it's Kylie and I'm back again with another eHow crochet chart tutorial. So thanks for joining me again today. This is our third part of our crochet chart series, and I'm going to do a little recap of rows 4 and 5. That's where we got to in the last episode, and then take you on through row 6 and 7 today. So if we go back to our pattern, we can see that row 4 was after our turning chain. Let me grab a hook that I can use as a pointer. Row 4, so turning chain, treble in the next, skip 1, treble, treble, and where we do our skip ones, we're doing 2 chain along here. So we're going treble, 2 chain, and that turning chain and that treble stand for the 2 trebles there. So that turning chain is instead of a treble. 2, treble, treble in the next 2, skip 1, treble, treble in the next 2, skip 1, treble, treble in the next 2, skip 1. So it's a really simple pattern once we get past this first one. So it's 1, chain 2, 1, 1, chain 2, 1, or do the 1, chain 2, and then you can start this new pattern, which is treble, 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 and is the chain 2. After that, we got to row 5, where we did our turning chain, and then treble, 2 trebles into that chain space, treble, treble, 2 trebles into the chain space, treble, treble, 2 chains into the chain space, and so on. So let's pop back onto our actual work and see how that row 5, works out. Okay, so we've done our turning chain, we've got our stitch marker in there. I've swapped colours. I don't know where the white one ended up. This is like a game you can play because I use these stitch markers for everything. I made them a while back now. I think, gosh, a good couple of years ago now. And I use them in pretty much everything. I have recently bought some Mrs. G Makes stitch markers. I'll pop a little shout out in the video for those. They're fabulous. These are called her ugly stitch markers, and they're anything but ugly. Let me show you. I've got 2 of them here on this piece of work. So aren't they fabulous? Just weird, ugly beads put together that you never know what you're going to get, but I think they're fab. They're really well made. So thanks, Mrs. G. Amanda, you're amazing. And I love them. I'll be getting some more quite soon, I think. So here we go. Stitch marker goodness. Right. So we're going to do a treble. So yarn over into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, there's our treble. Now we've got to our chain space, and we're just going to do a treble straight into that chain space. As a beginner, I used to try and go into the stitches because I didn't understand. I taught myself, so I didn't understand how chain spaces work, but actually it's just as easy to go in that. Once I did a couple of granny squares, I realised that's how it was done, and then I stopped trying to go into stitches along the chain space. It's impossible. Treble into the next stitch, which is the treble from the previous row, treble into the next stitch, which is again the treble from the next row, and then 2 trebles in the chain space, 1 and the second one. I know I'm going fast for the beginners, so let's do a couple of slow ones. Yarn over into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, nice and easy. To the chain space now, so yarn over into the chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. I'll do it slowly this time. Yarn over into the chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Keeping your tension here, and I just do a little scooping action to get my yarn over. I don't sort of throw it. I know some people do. Knitters tend to do that. As I said, I taught myself, so whatever way works for you, as long as you get yarn over on your hook, I don't think it actually really matters that much, quite honestly. So there we go. Yarn over into the chain space now, through 2, yarn over and into the chain space, pull up a loop through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, I'll do one more with you into the stitch now, and again into the stitch. Oh, we've got a little bit of red there, lovely. This is my white sangria, and I love the way it works up. We get the peachy colours and the little spots of red. It's just like the jugs of sangria and lemon, just like the jugs of sangria I had in Spain that inspired this colourway. Yarn over into the chain space and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and there we are. So really simple pattern. You can see it's holding this open now, and everything starts to sort of flatten out and even up again. So never worry about things curling like this. It will always sort itself out on the next row, and generally speaking, a good blocking at the end will sort out most of your problems, or adding a border to things. And you know, patterns often call for a border at the end, so never ever worry about the bumpiness or bobbliness of a blanket if you're getting the count right. So the count is right on each row or round. It will work out. The designers have created that pattern. They know it's usually been test crocheted or knitted. So if it's been tested properly and it's written properly, it will sort itself out, and you shouldn't panic about it. Just trust in the pattern. I'll carry on and finish the round, and I'll join you back at the end. I'm going to speed this bit up, so keep up if you want, or pause me, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, and we're back around to this last chain space, so we're going to go into the chain space and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and our final stitch into the chain space, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And now we just need to slip stitch to our chain 3 where we left our stitch marker last time, and that helps us find that stitch really easily because they do pull tight. Slip stitch through, and there we are, ready for our next round. We're going to chain 2 because we know how this pattern works already, and let's pop a yellow one on this time. Okay, and then chain 1 more. There's our chain 3, and our stitch marker's sitting there watching that space for us so that we can find it later. Okay, let's pop, let's just see, there we go, that's the round now. It's still curling a little, but like I said, don't worry about it. It will even out. Each row kind of tends to sort of stretch the stitches the way they need to stitch. Okay, let's have a look at round 6. Now, I haven't coloured this part of the pattern in yet. You can. I've put a link to the pattern in the description for the first video, so you can find it there. I've enlarged the pattern itself, so this is just the beginning parts of the pattern, maybe to the first 10, 11 rows or so, and then we move on to this part of the pattern, which is kind of the next sort of outside rows, and they only show you a section of that because those sections just keep repeating all the way around. So this way it can sort of fit on a page nice and easily, I guess, for printing out purposes. Use your felt tips, use your colours like I suggested in the first video when we started round 1, and that helps you sort of distinguish each row. But once you get used to it, you can see this is round 6 here. So we've got our chain 3. Let me grab my pointer again. We've got our chain 3, which we've just done. Now we've got a new pattern to deal with. So we're going to go into every treble around here with some sort of stitch. We're not skipping anything if you look around the row. And then the next thing to look at is what stitches are we actually doing. We're doing a treble, treble, and then 2 trebles in the next one. Treble, treble. Okay? So we're going to go treble, treble, 2 trebles, treble, 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 2 trebles, treble, 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 2 trebles, and so on. So the pattern actually ends up being treble, because this chain counts as a treble, 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 2 trebles, treble, 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 2 trebles, treble, 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 2 trebles, and so on all the way around till we get back to the end where we're going to go treble, 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 2 trebles, and then we're back at the beginning. Okay, so that's the pattern. We've got our first treble, which is our turning chain, so we're going to do treble in the next, treble in the next, and that's our 3 trebles, and now we're going to do 2 trebles in this stitch. So we do our first treble and we do our second treble. So we're increasing as we go on this round. Treble, 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 2 trebles. I'll show you that again in the center of the screen. Treble, 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 2 trebles. And that chain, that turning chain, counts as a treble. So now in the next stitch we're doing a treble, follow the pattern. Another treble, and another treble. And then in the next stitch we want treble first and then one more in that same stitch. Okay, so treble, 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 2 trebles, treble, 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 2 trebles. Okay, and just check where your V's are each time. I'll go slow this time. So we yarn over into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and through 2, yarn over and through 2, there's our first, into the next stitch, there's our second, and there's our third. So in the next stitch we want 2 trebles, so we go in once and then we yarn over and into that same stitch that we just came out of. You can see it's that one there, through 2 and through 2, there's our next V. Yarn over and into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, through 2, through 2, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, through 2 and through 2, and I'm just doing a little flick after each one, which is my yarn over and into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, through 2, through 2. So we've got our V here, there's our 3, next stitch, it's another V. So 2 trebles in that same stitch. Okay, carry on with that pattern, treble, 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 and then 2 trebles. Really simple. I love doing these kind of mandala patterns because they have very small repeats. Once you get used to the pattern, you can do it in front of the television. Concentrate while you're doing it with your counting, especially on some skip stitch rows, because it is very annoying to do. I've just done yesterday a row of 400 odd and realised there was a stitch right back in about my 3rd or 4th repeat, so I had to frog the entire thing. I have a sense of humour because of crochet. You just have to laugh it off. It's just how it is. A little bit more crochet time because I have to do that row again. It's a good job. I'm enjoying the pattern. Okay, so there's the V, treble, 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 and another V. Okay, carry on to the end of the row and I will see you there. I'm going to fast forward again, but you can pause me. You don't have to try and keep up. And I'll see you at the end of the round. If you pop over to chart video 4, you can see the remainder of these rounds. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you there. Bye.